Destiny brought us together. Never lost, always found. This was inevitable. We fight.
Were there any particular favourite moments that you guys had throughout season 3?
Oh, so many. One of my particular favourites was working with you and having our first sort of connection together. So like Yaskia has sort of vaguely met Ciri and then got waved, but then by this point you...
Me just ignore you.
Yeah, you ignoring you and then turning into a fiery demon lady. That's
me.
Yeah, it's oh, she's off. And so yeah, we got to connect this season, and particularly when we were having a card game together, and I think we both walked away from that scene going, oh.
Oh, I just wanted to pull my eyes out. Yeah.
So interested in your journey, Ciri's journey, and there's this moment where she adopts the alias of Falca at the end, which is really curious because she's so afraid of her own magic and Falca's way of thinking that she relinquishes her own powers. So why is that something that she does?
I think that it's a representation of the darkness that Falca kind of had in her life. I think when she kills someone for the first time, she feels like Ciri is stripped. There's that, and there's the practical side. She doesn't want to tell this group who she really is. But yeah, I think that choosing of Falca is more a representation of what she brought to her in the conversations they had in the desert, which is obviously, in my opinion, in her mind, in her head, but you know, what that represents, and that is this switch from lightness to dark, if you want to simplify it. But I think that was the feeling then. She just feels like, that's it, she feels almost like she stabbed herself, you know, like, not to make it really dark, but like, it did feel like that in the moment. It's like innocence stripped.
Yeah. And what was it like for you kind of exploring the darker, more cutthroat side of Ciri?
Well, obviously I haven't really been able to kind of go that place fully yet. You know, it's only this sort of seed been planted in that, I'd say. I mean, there's obviously always darkness, but you know, from what I'm gathering you're talking about. I don't know, I find it really sad, to be honest with you. Like, because me as myself, like I have all these memories as Ciri, you know, we've played them for so long, and so thinking back to that Ciri in the first episode of season 1 and then how she is after her first kill, it was kind of devastating for me as well. I was like, wow, like this child's going, and unfortunately she's being brought into the real world.
Mayana, Yennefer gives Tissaia this really beautiful speech, like a pep talk, but then she still ends up taking her own life. Knowing your character so deeply, why do you think Vilgefort's actions is something that she can't come back from?
I think she feels directly responsible for the death of all these incredible mages and humans. She feels directly responsible for making choices that led to this war, to this horrific fallout. And I think her lack of judgment when it came to Vilgefort, or when it comes to Vilgefort, is something that smacks her in the face. And at the end of the day, I don't think she can see a universe where it's better with her, you know? I know it's really sad, but I think it's, you know, what a horrific place to sort of be in. But ultimately, I think when you see that level of destruction, and you feel that if you could have avoided it with better choices, then yeah, I think it's that sad, actually.
It's heartbreaking.
I know, and I think it's really heartbreaking as well, because Vilgefortz is, you know, is somebody that she put so much hope into, and she sort of felt, yes, and she felt that together they could actually change and create this balance within how all these kingdoms were run, and they could finally achieve a certain kind of peace where chaos was respected, but sadly, no.
Do you think there was any truth to his feelings? Because it always seems so real and genuine, which I guess is the mask, but in terms of the way you two played the characters, was there any kernel of truth to the way he felt about Tissaia?
I mean, we love each other in real life, so yes. No. Well, No, I think Vilgefortz was just playing a game the whole time. He just played it really well. And he just enjoys playing the game so well. So I actually think you're talking about, you know, a sort of sociopath here, really.
But I think he does respect her. I think he respects her power.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know. He just lets her down so bad.
He does let her down so bad.
Yeah. I actually think he has, like...
It's an utter betrayal.
Crumb of contempt for her that sort of, like, lies there. You know, it's like when you have, like, horrible crumbs in your bed and you can't sleep at night. He's like that. He's like one of those. You're like, oh...
Yeah, that's true.
Crumbs of contempt.
That's true.
I love that saying.
Vilgefortz.
Crumbs of contempt. I'm going to go away with that. What was it like for you two to film that really epic battle? Because there were some really incredible moments there.
Oh God, it was. I feel like it was an emotional roller coaster. You had to be physically fit to do it as well, because we were going in and we were, you know, doing stunts and fighting for days on end. I think it was also really emotional because also, you know, it combined with people leaving us. So I think that was like a
one after one, people would drop off, and you'd be like, "No, come back!"
And you would just see a little blood stain on the floor, which represented them, and you'd be like, "This is breaking my heart." But yeah, I think it was actually amazing to have everyone together. I think that was what was so exciting about it, to have all the cast members in a room together, just doing this epic battle.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was I feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
I thought it was my favourite moments. Just everyone together. It just meant that, like, behind the scenes, like, as soon as they shouted cut, it was just jokes.
All hail King Radovid.
Well, thanks for saying Radovid and not Radovoid, because that was an
that's
issue.
awkward.
Yeah, which...
It sounds like a sort of condition.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm suffering from Radovoid.
Nobody wants to suffer from Radovid. So obviously your character was just about to go and run to Jaskier and be by his side, and now his brother's dead, he's king. How can you describe how he's feeling in that moment?
Well, he just, I think, absolute disbelief. He's been so sort of directionless and sort of trying to sort of stay under the radar in this world full of death. And then he finally meets the love of his life, and then he's sort of sucked right back in, and I think he's absolutely terrified and totally gutted.
Is there any hope for them going forward, do you think? Do you hope there's hope?
I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea what happens. I'd like to think so.
That love story.
I think, because he's head of it. He really likes him,
He really likes him.
He really likes him. Yeah, he thinks he's well fit.
There is a look that Dijkstra, that crosses Dijkstra's face when he finds out what Philip has done, that she's had a part in the king's death.
Yes.
Is that one step too far for him?
Well, I think in that moment, Dijkstra is really trying to catch up in his brain. And that's a very unusual feeling for him, I think. He's not used to being a step behind. And it's not that he underestimates her, because he holds her in very high estimation, but I think, he's been wrong-footed. And it's really how, going forward in the next season, how he adapts to that and how he sees her. And that remains to be seen. You know, he loves her in his way, his strange way. But when somebody's capable of doing that, you do have to sort of start going, okay.
Raise that eyebrow.
Usually we never make a move without consulting each other anyway. So even if it was something not as big as crowning the king, I think Philip are making moves without checking with you is a new thing as well, isn't it?
It shows that she has an individual agenda as well as a joint agenda, I think. And that's something that is possibly quite disturbing.
A little bit scary.
To him.
You look like you love playing that character.
I love it.
Yeah.
How do you think that moment will kind of throw off the balance in their relationship? Because they've always been synergy, right?
Well, this trust that we've worked to build. You know, there's lots of elements of their relationship that's about trust building and bonding and stuff like that. And it's almost like Philip has kind of thrown a lot of that in the bin.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dijkstra would not want to reveal any of that. So however much he might be feeling, and, you know, the look that you talk about in that moment, I mean, that's literally just like, oh, God. And then I think what happens subsequently, I think he will regroup. He will sit alone, think about what he needs to do, and act upon that. So I don't think he's going to be confronting her necessarily. I think it's going to be much more seeing how it goes and where it leads.
Because it might turn out to benefit you in some way, and then maybe you won't be so
absolutely. But
thinking of everyone. Philippa's always thinking of everyone.
She is. She does seem very kind-hearted.
He's not. He's not afraid of her in that moment, but he is reassessing her.
I think he's right too. Unbelievable. Cassie, you and Hugh, I think your characters are the first in the Witcher universe to be depicted as queer or having queer relationships. What is it like kind of bringing that more inclusivity into the Witcher universe?
I love it. I just love how as the world expands, it becomes even more inclusive and representative. Everybody can sit and watch and find somebody they're like, oh, that's like me, or I love when I watch it and I'm learning about other cultures and other experiences. I'm learning through other people's storylines that don't relate to me, and that's something I really enjoy. That the Witcher world is such a fantastical place, but at the heart of it, it does reflect the world that we live in, and you can watch it and be like, that's me.
I'm very inclusive of the Machiavellian
and everyone can be like,
community.
Thank you for representing.
Yes. I get a lot of fan mail about that from
the psychopaths.
Yeah, from the psychopaths.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're my idol.
That's right.
And what was it like for you to kind of create that kind of mother-daughter relationship and take it to new heights? Because in this season, I feel like you've really delved into that.
I loved it. I loved going there with Yennefer. I think she's been very self-centered for a long part of her life. And this meeting Ciri, teaching her magic and organically growing that mother-daughter relationship really helps Yennefer to move into a different phase. And one that is less self-centered, and her ego is definitely dropped. She's laid bare in a way that she hasn't been before, probably more vulnerable than she's ever been before. I mean, she's vulnerable in every season, but in a very different way, in a way that really shows her strength, I think. So I've really enjoyed exploring that part of her relationship.
What was it like for you to kind of like trust that mother relationship that you haven't really known for a while?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. Going straight into season 3 with everything that had happened at the end of season 2 and without getting to kind of live through the characters the year that's passed was a weird place to be, you know? Like, we hadn't really got to properly, like, experience that. We just had to kind of think about it, and so I think it was difficult. I think I had... in the way that the storyline went, I had to kind of delve into the trust more quickly than Geralt. Geralt got time to show that lack of trust, and we kind of had to do that with one scene that was very rushed on the filming day and, whatever. So, yeah.
Well, you pulled it together great.
Good.